Welcome back, fellow mayors, to Fisher Enclave City, where we have used just about every transportation available in the game. We have planes, trains, monorail, trams, standard buses, trolley buses, taxis, ferries, cable cars. We even added the Chirp launch site and hot air balloons. However, what we do not have are blimps and helicopters. Let us check out the helicopter stop, and we have over 1,300 passengers waiting to be picked up. This is Captain Obvious, and in this episode, we will make blimps and helicopters viable again. When we created the amusement park island, I have pre-plotted a blimp stop right here, and I want to create a second blimp stop on this side. But before you plop down anything, you should be aware of the noise pollution that it produces. So a blimp stop produces 75 noise pollution, and now we definitely have to check our area. So if I want to place it here, that's actually a little too close. So of course we have to replace this, which is the hot air balloon. And just putting it down, you can see the red circumference, and the noise definitely will hit our residential area. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip this and place this outside and put our blimp stop there. So I will just transfer these. Okay, so now as you can see, the circle is actually less, so it will only produce noise up to here. Hopefully they don't complain. And of course, to activate this, we need to connect it together, and then I will show you the typical way or what happens to a blimp stop and why most players do not use this mode of transportation. Yeah, of course, we need to connect this to the blimp depot, which is right over here at our airport area, our airport island. So I will just connect that. All right, that will take some time for the blimps to actually emerge. And of course, it'll help if I actually made a route. Okay, there you go. So first, we're just gonna do an example. And while we're waiting for the blimps to make their journey, we are also going to activate our helicopter stop. So a metropolitan airport comes with its own helicopter stop. So if you take a look, you can see that it has pre-built in right here, and all we need, of course, is a helicopter depot, which we have right over there. You don't have to use both, but just knowing that it's there is valuable information. And I want to find a location to where we can put it. I think this is a good spot right here. So I will add in that helicopter stop. So I like this location because it's right in front of the ferry, and it's also within access of a monorail. All right, let's connect these together. So some of you may be concerned that these may be a hazard with things flying around, but this vulture planes is a hazard of itself, and we have the best pilots in the world, so do not worry about anything like that. All right, so it's going to take considerable time for them to make their route. So I will fast forward, and we are going to observe what happens. Okay, so some time has passed already, and as you can see, there are a lot of passengers in our blimp stop. So let's actually take an official look. And so our blimp stop has about 129 people at one stop, and there is 35 vehicle capacity only. And most of the time, the way to fix this is just to add more vehicles, or in this case, blimps. But how many blimps should you have in a city? What is a decent number of blimps? I think 1 to possibly 3 is the right amount. Any more than that is like an invasion, and we don't want that. And as you can see, there is a chance for the number of passengers waiting at a stop to grow. And let's go check out our helicopter stop, and let's see how that is doing. So our helicopter is, we have 1,300 passengers in this stop. Now that is crazy. How many? What is our vehicle capacity for that? And it only has 20. That's gonna take way too long to pick everyone up, and there's only 20 passenger capacity. And it doesn't matter if we spike it up to the max, because the max is only 7, and as you can see, more people are coming in as more passengers are entering. And let's see how many passengers at 200 passengers coming in. Let's actually see if they all go this way. And there they are. Check out that flood of passengers from the airplane going to the helicopter. Now there is no way to fix this, but we will make helicopters and blimps viable. All right, so let's analyze the actual transportation. Wow, that is a lot. Let's see how many. 69, 200. Okay, that's leaving. 200. Yeah, at most cases this is actually a very, very busy airport, and I love it. But having the helicopter here is like you're like shooting your own foot, because it's just really bad. All right, so let's make this viable, right? How to make it work. And let's think of the concept of helicopters and blimps. What are they exactly? If you were traveling in one place or another, of course, it may seem faster to get to one place or another, but if you know that the passenger capacity is that low and there are that many people waiting in line, would you actually use that transportation? Imagine 1,000. Imagine how many hours it would take you just to reach your destination. So would it be a lot better to use a blimp, or use this monorail to take you to the other side and travel your way here if you were visiting the Eiffel Tower? Because this is just going to the Eiffel Tower, right? While a monorail has a capacity of, I think, 180 more or less, right? I would definitely take this or just drive there instead of using a blimp. But let's consider what blimps and helicopters are. They are, for the most part, leisure type of vehicles. And when you speak of leisure and who would want to use these, that would be tourists. But even tourists, it would make this unbearable for them to wait. But if you're gonna travel by air going somewhere, why do you want to take the fastest route, which is a straight line? You would want to actually, tour the city, go around. And even though the destination is very close, that doesn't mean you have to go in a straight line. So for example, a hot air balloon, you cannot control its destination. It actually just lifts and travels randomly anywhere, then goes back to its same location. But with blimps and helicopters, we have that option to make it go in any direction that we want. And that is actually the reason, or I feel, is the best use of these types of vehicles. Don't use this as a means of transportation to actually bring your Sims to one place to another for them to go to work or school and whatnot, but use them as a tourist means to go around your city. So what I'm going to do is we are going to reconfigure the route of our blimps and helicopters. So instead of this straight line, first we'll pause the game and then we are going to redo it. So the way I'm gonna make our routes is we're gonna try to get close to the main buildings that we want to see up close and up in the air. So I went here closer to those buildings. So we're gonna find like the tallest buildings in the game or in the city and just wrap ourselves around it so that we could better appreciate the construction and all of that. Okay, so we're gonna go this way. I don't know if you want to go through here. We won't make this too long because I actually feel that helicopters is still better than blimps. I mean, blimps you could see a lot better, but when you are actually touring your city, helicopters are definitely the best. Okay, so I've made a new connection, and then all we gotta do is just connect them together. So I will, oh, actually first we need to delete it. Delete the current one before we create a new one. So I'm going to delete this stop, and it will serve two purposes. For one thing, it will disperse our current passengers because we don't want to actually send them to their destination. So I can see that it's functioning here, but we are not actually going to connect them. We want them to leave the area first. So I will, we saw that it works. You saw that it connects. And then let's go to the helicopter stop. We're going to do the same exact thing, except we are going to make the route even longer, because helicopters are actually the best way to tour your city. Right, as you can see, I'm making the route directly right through the tall buildings, and it's gonna look awesome when traveling through that. And of course, let's not forget about the unique buildings around, so we have a closer and better look from the air. Okay, so our connection is complete, and let's actually check if it will connect. So from here, oops, we need to delete that, of course. So we're gonna delete the helicopter stop, and we're gonna let all the 1,000 plus passengers disperse, so we don't actually have to wait for them to be delivered first. And it works. So you can see the line is functioning, but I will not connect it just yet. We will wait for everyone to leave. So that's gonna take some time. So we will fast forward this. So I've already disconnected the line. Now we're just gonna wait for them to leave. There you go. So now they are dispersing. Okay, so there doesn't seem to be any more passengers who are coming to the helicopter stop. They just realized that it's no longer available. So now we can actually create our official stop. So I'll create a new line here, and it will just connect to there and rotate back. And we're gonna pause, and before you actually like let it fly, try to determine your color. So we are gonna use our theme color, which is red, because if you want to change the color, they actually have to return to the depot, and oops, and if they return to the depot, basically it's just gonna restart everything. So try to determine your color before it starts. And now we're also gonna do the same exact thing for our blimp stop. Okay, so now all the vehicles should start leaving the depots. Let's actually check how many are requested. 10. We don't want 10 blimps. I'm going to leave it as maybe 2 blimps. 2 blimps is reasonable, maybe 3. And if we go to our helicopter, how many is it requesting? 17. Probably gonna make it, actually it wouldn't be too bad, so we're gonna leave it like that for now. We're gonna see if there's a queue on landing, then we're gonna lower it down. But for now, I think this is fine because they're actually extremely small that you can't see them. Here's the queue that I was referring to, but we're gonna have them complete their entire route to see how many actually will be waiting. And if we do need to make adjustment, look at that. That is a lot of helicopters waiting in line. Yeah, we're just gonna wait. We're gonna keep it as is because I think 17 is fine. You can't actually see them traveling around. All right, so again, we're gonna wait and fast forward. All right, let's check out our extended blimp line. Let's see how it's doing. Let's check the line details. We have some passengers. It's not full, but some is good. There doesn't have to be 35 passengers as long as it's functioning and we have some people taking the blimp. Okay, that's actually good. Now let's check our helicopters, which had 1,000 people, and now we are down to just, well, there are passengers and it does get full and everybody gets picked up. So we have actually done it. So it's not the way you expected on making the helicopters and blimps function as a transportation, but we are making it viable as a tourist route. So that is probably the best way to use it. Other than that, for example, ferries is also kind of a problem that most people have as well. So here we could just add like 3 more because it's only 50 capacity. Let's check the other ferry line. So this ferry line 2, ferry line 1. Ferry line 1 can use another 3. All right, let's just add 3 just to make sure that it goes to empty. And let's actually check the number of ferries going around. So the point of using the blimps, helicopters, and ferries is so that you have your city alive and bustling. It's very busy, and this is a little more busy than we want to. So let's actually remove the vulture planes. I actually enjoy the fact that you can remove the vulture planes anytime you like. I like bugs appearing in the game, but we still have control over to remove them or not. And there we are. So we have used all the transportation. We've made blimps and helicopters viable, and they are an excellent way to view your city. On a side note, if you do try this out and find to have no passengers at your stops, make the route gradually shorter and eventually you will get passengers wanting to ride your blimps and helicopters. Thank you everyone for checking out how to creatively and viably make use of these aerial transports. Hopefully, my fellow mayors will be open to the idea of utilizing these aerial vehicles as controlled tour routes instead of using them as public transportation. For more ideas, tips, and tricks, you can find me in several social channels, and we also have a Discord where you can ask questions and share your screenshots. This is Captain Obvious, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the season finale.